Professor Kethvar's scaled fingers danced across the holographic display, bringing up the restricted species database. The amphitheater fell silent as rows of alien students focused their various sensory organs on the crimson warning that appeared. Class X restricted, Homo sapiens, Terran origin. Ah yes, the humans. Kethvar's voice carried the weight of 3 centuries. I see some confusion in your bioluminescent patterns, Cadet Velthari. You're wondering how a species that achieved faster than light travel barely 2 centuries ago could possibly warrant our highest military restriction. The crystalline Vorthak student surface flickered with skeptical purple hues. Professor, their technology is primitive kinetic-based weaponry. They lack our quantum manipulation capabilities. Their vessels are constructed from refined metals, chittered Cadet Zixara, her insectoid mandibles clicking dismissively. No bio-neural networks, no hive mind coordination. Individual decision-making in combat is chaotic and inefficient. The gaseous nebulan entity that was Cadet Morpheus rippled with amusement. Their lifespans average less than 100 rotations, insufficient time to develop strategic wisdom. Kethvar's smile revealed rows of predatory teeth that had once torn through enemy armor during the Centauri campaigns. Your analysis demonstrates exactly why the Galactic Warfare Protocol was established 50,000 years ago. We assumed all spacefaring species would naturally evolve civilized approaches to conflict. The display shifted, showing the elegant ballet of traditional galactic warfare. Fleets arranged in ceremonial formations, formal declarations transmitted across subspace, scheduled engagements with predetermined rules of honor. War, as practiced by all 147 member species, follows strict protocols. Formal. Challenges, agreed-upon battlefields, protection of civilian populations, prisoner exchanges, negotiated settlements. We fight for advantage, for resources, for territorial adjustments. Not for extinction. Cadet Velthari's crystalline structure rang like chimes. This is the foundation of interstellar civilization, Professor. Warfare as structured political discourse. Indeed, technology restrictions prevent planetary annihilation. Bioweapons are forbidden. Artificial intelligence warfare is prohibited. We maintain genetic diversity across species. War serves diplomacy, not genocide. The professor's claws traced ancient scars across his throat. When humans were discovered, they appeared remarkably eager to join our galactic community. Their diplomatic core was professional, respectful. They studied our customs with genuine interest. Their requests to participate in the Rigel sector conflict seemed natural progression toward full membership. The display showed human vessels, sleek, but unremarkable compared to the organic curves of Altarian bioships or the geometric perfection of hegemony constructs. Small contingents, 50 ships assigned to each side as observers and light support. The Great Consensus Council viewed this as an educational opportunity. What better way for newcomers to understand civilized warfare than supervised participation? Both the Altarian Empire and the Hegemony of Worlds agreed to accept human auxiliary forces. Cadet Zixara's compound eyes glittered with anticipation. The trade route dispute. That was resolved in standard fashion, surely. Kethvar's expression darkened. Council Chairman Vexmore's final transmission before the conflict began was intercepted by our monitoring stations. His exact words were, "What's the worst that could happen? They're primitives playing at war." The holographic display began cycling through increasingly violent imagery that made several students recoil. Debris fields where space stations once orbited, twisted metal that had been proud warships, transmission logs filled with screaming voices. Chairman Vexmore died in the first week. Kethvar's voice dropped to barely above a whisper. Along with 40% of both fleets, the humans had been taking notes. The silence stretched until Cadet Morpheus finally rippled with nervous energy. "What exactly did they do, Professor?" "They brought war." The holographic display materialized the Rigel system, 7 planets orbiting a binary star. Trade stations dotted the space lanes like glowing pearls on cosmic string. The conflict began as they always do. Altarian Captain Zorthek transmitted formal challenge protocols to Hegemony Admiral Crisota regarding disputed shipping routes through sectors 7 through 12. Kethavar gestured, and the display showed two magnificent fleets approaching predetermined coordinates. Altarian bioships pulsed with organic luminescence, while Hegemony vessels maintained perfect geometric formations. Expected duration, 6 months. Anticipated casualties, less than 5%. Standard territorial adjustment conflict. Both sides had fought similar engagements for 3 millennia. The winner would gain favorable trade agreements. The loser would maintain honor through dignified resistance. Both fleets expected to return home with stories and minimal losses. The human contingents appeared on the display, small clusters of angular vessels maintaining proper formation behind their respective flagships. For the first 2 weeks, humans followed orders without question. Captain Zorthek noted in his personal log, Terran crews maintain adequate formation discipline. They observe protocols correctly. Admiral Crisota recorded similar observations. Human vessels respond to tactical commands promptly. Their questions about supply chain logistics suggest primitive understanding of advanced warfare principles. But Cadet Velthari's crystalline surface had shifted to worried amber. What kind of questions were they asking, Professor? Detailed. Maps of industrial complexes, communication relay station locations, resource extraction schedules, manufacturing capacity data. Kethavar's claws clicked against the control surface. Both sides dismissed this as primitive curiosity about sophisticated military operations. The display shifted to show human commanders holding private conferences aboard their vessels. Intercepted communications revealed increased data collection efforts. Humans were analyzing everything: fleet composition, supply rotation schedules, maintenance requirements, even crew recreational patterns. During the 3rd week, the first formal engagement commenced at Rigel Station 7. Both fleets met at coordinates agreed upon by ancient treaty. Honor guards exchanged ceremonial challenges. Fleet commanders broadcast traditional declarations of noble intent. The battle began with elegant choreography. Energy weapons traced beautiful patterns across space as shields flared in brilliant displays. Disabled vessels transmitted surrender codes and were collected by rescue craft. A perfectly civilized engagement proceeding according to established protocol. Then the human vessels broke formation. Instead of engaging enemy warships in honorable combat, human ships targeted supply convoys traveling through adjacent systems. While both fleets maintained proper battle formations, humans crippled logistical networks supporting the entire conflict. Cadet Zixara's mandibles clicked in confusion. But that violates fundamental warfare ethics. Supply trains are non-combatant support infrastructure. Human Admiral Sarah Chen's response to formal protests was transmitted to both fleet commanders. You invited us to help you win. We assumed victory was the objective. The display showed chaos spreading through the Rigel system as human forces systematically dismantled everything that kept the war functioning. Fuel refineries exploded in brilliant fireballs. Communication arrays went silent. Transport vessels disappeared between systems. Both Admiral Crisota and Captain Zorthek filed emergency complaints with Galactic Command. The response was a stern warning to human forces about proper battlefield conduct. But the damage was done. Humans had spent 3 weeks learning how civilized warfare operated. They understood our weaknesses better than we understood our own strengths. Kethavar's voice carried ancient dread. That's when they stopped pretending to follow our rules. Galactic Command issued immediate withdrawal orders to all human forces. The response from Admiral Chen changed everything we thought we knew about warfare. The display showed a transmission log, timestamp flickering ominously. Her exact words: "Withdraw. We haven't won yet. With respect, Galactic Command, You invited us to a war. We intend to finish it. Cadet Morpheus rippled with confusion. Finish it? But conflicts are resolved through negotiated advantage, not total victory. That's precisely what we failed to understand. Every galactic species fights for territorial gain, resource access, political leverage. Humans fight to win, completely, utterly, without compromise. Kethvar's claws scraped against the podium. They ignored withdrawal orders entirely. The display erupted into chaos as human tactical doctrine revealed itself. Both Altarian and Hegemony fleets attempted to unite against what they now recognized as a common threat. Too late. Humans had spent weeks analyzing their allies' capabilities, command structures, supply networks, communication protocols. While we exchanged formal challenges and maintained honor guards, humans launched what they called Operation Total Eclipse. Every fuel refinery in 7 systems simultaneously exploded. Communication networks throughout the sector went silent. Transport vessels carrying everything from ammunition to medical supplies simply vanished between hyperspace jumps. Cadet Velthari's crystalline surface had shifted to deep red alarm patterns. They attacked non-combatant infrastructure? That's barbaric. Barbaric, yes. Effective, absolutely. The holographic display showed human vessels of unknown configuration emerging from hyperspace. These weren't the ships we'd catalogued. Converted civilian transports bristling with weapons. Mining vessels repurposed as kinetic bombardment platforms. Even luxury yachts equipped with suicide ramming systems. Humans had been building a shadow fleet while we thought they were learning proper warfare etiquette. Every merchant vessel that entered the sector was actually a disguised warship. Every diplomatic courier was intelligence gathering. Every cultural exchange was military reconnaissance. The display showed Admiral Chrysota's final transmission before his flagship disappeared in a ball of fire. They're everywhere. How did primitives develop such tactical sophistication? They're coordinating attacks across 17 systems simultaneously while maintaining communication silence. It's impossible. Captain Zorthek's last log entry was even more revealing. Humans don't fight for honor or advantage. They fight like they're facing extinction. Every engagement is treated as species survival. They're willing to sacrifice everything for victory. Everything. Cadet Zixara's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation among her species. Professor, surely the combined fleets could overwhelm such primitive tactics. The Battle of Rigel Prime was the largest space engagement in 10,000 years. Every remaining Altarian and Hegemony vessel converged to stop the human advance. 400 ships against 50 human vessels. Kethvar paused, letting the numbers sink in. The humans won. How they won haunts military strategists to this day. Kamikaze attacks using unmanned drones, psychological warfare broadcasts that drove enemy crews to panic, biological agents adapted from Earth pathogens that shut down Altarian life support systems, cyber warfare that turned Hegemony artificial intelligences against their own ships. But the most terrifying revelation came in the aftermath. Analysis of human tactics revealed they hadn't just won the battle. They'd studied galactic civilization for weaknesses we didn't know we had. Economic vulnerabilities, political fractures, cultural blind spots. They'd been preparing to fight all of us. The silence in the amphitheater was absolute. Every student stared at the display showing casualty reports, economic collapse projections, political destabilization analyses. Both empires surrendered unconditionally. Humans accepted reparations totaling 40% of both civilizations' annual economic output. The Rigel sector became human territory by right of conquest. That, Kethvar said quietly, was when the Galactic Council realized we hadn't invited humans to participate in a conflict. We'd given apex predators access to a buffet. The emergency session of the Galactic High Council convened within hours. For the first time in recorded history, all 147 member species attended. The amphitheater that had hosted diplomatic ceremonies for millennia became a tribunal of terror as surviving military commanders gave testimony. Admiral Zorthek, what remained of him after neural reconstruction surgery, provided the most chilling account. His words are preserved in the official record. They don't fight like civilized beings. They fight like they're trying to extinct us. Every human treats every battle as if their species' survival depends on the outcome. The xenobiology reports painted an even more disturbing picture. Human brain chemistry during combat releases compounds that enhance aggression, suppress fear, and increase pain tolerance. Their cardiovascular systems evolve to support persistence hunting across vast distances. They don't stop pursuing prey until it's dead. Cadet Velthari's crystalline form had dulled to barely visible transparency. Professor, surely this is evolutionary coincidence. The Council commissioned a complete analysis of human history. 10,000 years of continuous warfare, every technological advancement weaponized within generations, nuclear fission, bombs, genetic engineering, biological weapons, artificial intelligence, military applications first, civilian benefits second. But the psychological profile revealed the truly terrifying truth. Humans evolved as pack hunters on a death world where everything was trying to kill them. Individual sacrifice for group survival is hardwired into their neural architecture. They form unbreakable bonds through shared combat experience. Pattern recognition and tactical adaptation under extreme stress are survival mechanisms. The display showed comparative studies that made several students physically recoil. Every other spacefaring species evolved cooperation for resource sharing, environmental adaptation, or predator avoidance. Only humans evolved warfare as their primary survival strategy. Human Ambassador Patricia Williams addressed the Council directly. Her statement lasted exactly 37 seconds. You invited us to war, assuming we understood your rules. We brought war as we know it. Your conflicts are political theater. Our wars determine which species continues to exist. Consider this educational experience concluded. Cadet Zixara's chittering had become high-pitched distress calls. What did the Council decide? Resolution 2847-X passed with 146 votes in favor, 0 against, 1 abstention. Complete prohibition of human military participation in any galactic conflict. No human military advisors. No weapons technology sharing. No observers in active war zones. Complete quarantine of human space during any interstellar dispute. The enforcement mechanisms were unprecedented. Any species caught violating the human military ban would face complete economic sanctions and potential expulsion from galactic civilization. The Terran Monitoring Protocol was established with dedicated surveillance of human military development. Human response to the ban was immediate and chilling. Ambassador Williams simply said, "That's probably for the best. We were getting bored with your version of warfare anyway." The silence stretched until Cadet Morpheus rippled with barely controlled fear. "Professor, what if they ever decide we're their enemy?" Kethavar's ancient eyes reflected the accumulated wisdom of 3 centuries and the bone-deep terror of a species that had glimpsed true predators. That, cadets, is exactly why the ban must remain in place forever. Humans taught us that some species don't fight wars, they fight extinctions. Your assignment for next rotation: write a 500-word analysis on why human military isolation protects galactic civilization from apex predators who consider total victory the only acceptable outcome. The students filed out in absolute silence, each carrying the knowledge that somewhere in quarantined space, humans were developing new ways to wage the kind of war that ended species rather than conflicts. Kethavar remained alone, studying the display showing current human military activity. The readings were classified above his clearance level, but the trend lines told him everything he needed to know. Humanity was still learning, still adapting, still preparing for the war they knew would eventually come. He whispered a prayer to forgotten gods that it never would.